What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all the things celebrity news, entertainment news, whatever it's got to do with entertainment, we talk about it here. I don't know what the hell is going on with my phone today. It's like all of a sudden, I went over to my other Facebook page, the professional one, to make a copy of the live stream to go over to my regular Facebook where everybody goes to get all the latest tea and gossip. And for some reason, the damn thing has been crashing. So I don't know what's going on with y'all, but y'all need to get that shit together. But anyway, welcome to today's show. So we got a lot of tea to get into. And one of the things we're going to be talking about, of course, because SNL happened last night, so we're going to break down the whole Ayo Edebiri and J Lo situation and how that whole thing went out. Plus, I'm going to give you my opinions on J Lo's two performances because she performed two songs. She performed "Can't Get Enough," where she brought out Redman and Lotto. I'm like, damn, she's bringing everybody on this song now. And then she did "This Is Me Now," which is the title track. So I'm going to give my opinion on that. Plus, Ayo has spoken out about how she said what she said about J Lo, and I'm going to give my opinion on that too. Plus, I was like, what else are we talking about? Oh, so we're gonna be talking about Alyssa Milano. She has broken her silence about this whole drama with the whole charm situation. I'm gonna give my thoughts on that. Plus, Megan Thee Stallion, we're gonna talk about her too. Like, we got some good congratulations and stuff for her. She is winning in this era of hip hop, so we're gonna give our flowers what we need to. Plus, Gwen Stefani, like I didn't know this about her, but apparently she begged No Doubt to get back together. So that way, for the whole Coachella situation. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Issa Rae is talking about Hollywood being scared and clueless and is at the mercy of Wall Street because, they cancel all these black shows, including her show, Rap Ish. So we're going to talk about that and if I agree with her opinion or not. Plus, speaking of scams and schemes and things and how Hollywood is pulling all kinds of stunts, Sex and the City creator Candace Bushnell is talking about she is receiving no royalties from this deal that they have where they're going to be showing Sex and the City on Netflix and how she's not getting no money from it. So she's talking about there's a whole lot of Ponzi schemes and stuff going on in the industry. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, child, I am so over Reese and his BS. Now he out here throwing shade at the black community and talking about how he wishes he was Latino. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Selena's killer, Yolanda Saldivar, is up for parole in 2025. And she's breaking her silence in a brand new documentary, which has probably got a lot of the Selena fans pissed, and rightfully so. And so we're going to talk about it on this here show. So we got that and a whole lot more. But before we get started on these here topics, do yourselves a favor and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. So that way you will know when I go live on this here platform because we are everywhere. We're on Facebook, we're on the YouTube, we're on Instagram. Well, no, we're not on Instagram. Instagram has been having issues and stuff, especially with StreamYard. They sent me that notification. I said I gave up on trying to play around with Instagram a long time ago. Y'all could suck my ass through a straw. So, or the shit out of my ass through a straw, basically. Because I'm like over Instagram and their BS or whatever kind of, I don't know. They need to figure out what they doing over there. First of all, quietness is kept. Do people really invest in Instagram anymore? I stopped doing that after they made me lose my last Instagram page. I put no effort into trying to work that page out anymore because I realized I'll post a regular post there. I'll get like 2, 3, 4 likes. But I see all kinds of eyes in my goddamn stories. That's the funny part. Like everybody will sit and watch the stories, but nobody wants to sit and send a like or whatever to your regular post, which is not like I'm asking for any goddamn money. It's free. It's not, you know, doesn't cost you anything to like a post, whatever. So speaking of which, do that with this YouTube channel and the following show, whatever. Just hit that like button. It's not gonna cost you a thing. Even though we're going to talk about somebody or something being costing a thing when we talk about J Lo. But so wait, hold on. Let me hit my banner before we get started. I said, oh, agreed. Instagram is up there with Snapchat, dead except in the US. Well, yeah, fuck Instagram. I don't mess with them anymore. I'm over them because they just get on my damn root canal nerve. So I don't even get invested in that. Okay, so I was like, now that everything is working and I uploaded the regular stream to Facebook, so that way those people who aren't subscribed to my other fan page can see it on my regular page, we can get to the show. So there was something I want to bring up. Speaking of, since Robert is in the room, hold on, there's another comment. It said, but at least it's not like X where it's closer there. Well, I mean, look, X is what I use, okay, for the porn. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm overcoming a nasty cold. Even though I am feeling 100%, I'm feeling way more better. I'm feeling way better than I did when I did the last show, which was what? Friday? Yeah, because yesterday was Saturday. So I'm feeling way better. It's just this nasty cold I'm trying to get rid of. But I've been drinking the Robitussin and stuff. But look, X is only used because for my professional page, I post, all my stuff from chrisavalon.com. And then of course they got the X-rated stuff on there. So he's calling the X for a reason. I don't pay attention to all the other toxic mess, the MAGA crap and all the other mess, that cesspool of bullshit that Elon likes to run around with. I don't focus on that. I focus on the other stuff. I use X for good. All the other mess that's going on over there, I pay that dust. But anyway, so there was something that I wasn't really thinking about until Robert and I had a conversation since he's in the room and brought it up. So I was like, let's talk about this mess because apparently people are going in on Demi Moore for bringing a damn dog to a Madonna concert. I can't even believe this is a conversation, but here we are. So apparently, this is off the top of my head. Like I don't have notes and none of this other stuff. So I was being sent stuff all over social media where it was just like, okay, people were apparently upset over Demi Moore bringing a dog to a damn concert. I know it sounds crazy in a lot of ways, but coming up in New York, we're so unfazed by a lot of stuff that goes on in New York that we just kind of like look the other way. Like there's a whole guy that literally a lot of people don't even know about this, but there's a guy that is comes in Central Park every time when it gets warm, and he named the raccoons, he feeds the raccoons. I think he's known as Raccoon Man. Actually, one of my friends did put gave him a cameo in a movie that he did, the one that I recently talked about with oh my god, Guillermo Diaz. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff that goes on in New York. People bringing dogs and stuff to places. This is nothing new. I know it might be shocking for people to be. Why are you bringing a dog? Which I don't get it either. I always say when I kind of just don't understand shit. If you like it, I love it. But I guess people are probably getting going in on Demi Moore because she's a celebrity. And it's funny how y'all are so quick to throw shade at the celebrities, but then y'all see regular people doing dumb shit and y'all just look the other way like it's nothing. So I don't understand the selective outrage. To me, I don't get the whole people bringing, like, I see people bringing dogs to like restaurants. I don't do the whole indoor thing because first of all, that's a health code violation. I can understand if it's like if you're outdoors and there has been a rule bending situation since COVID that people can eat outdoors and all that other stuff, and you can have your dog outside with you. But because people, I guess, have look, mental health is on the rise in this country, and it's something that a lot of people can't afford. Think this is something that needs to be dealt with in this country. But of course, there's all these damn distractions and all this other BS that the government, both sides, is doing instead of dealing with the real issues that we have in this country, which is mental health and a lot of stuff that's happened, especially post COVID. Like there seems to be an uptick in a lot of things that's going on with people's mental health. So when I saw there was a tiny dog, I'm like, okay, that's not bad. Now, my thing is, if you up in there barking and you doing all kinds of other shit and you disturbing my moment of me, paying attention to what's going on in the concert, then I'm gonna be pissed. It's like, ma'am, then you could let this goddamn dog at home. But I understand, like, if you have like those emotional support dogs where they are trained, where they won't be a nuisance, all this other stuff. Because look, when I be taking a train, I be seeing people on the train with dogs. I be seeing people going everywhere with dogs. Now, if you come up in the club, I be like, okay, now this is ridiculous. Now, I ain't never seen that yet. First of all, if you up in the club with a dog, you's a damn fool. Because I'm like, first of all, your dog will get stepped on. It's too damn dark in there. All them damn strobe lights and shit is going off. So I don't understand who in their right mind would bring a damn dog to the club. Can you imagine if somebody did that? But I'm sure there had to be some idiot Gen Zer or somebody that has tried. Oh, I'm in my emotional bag. I need to bring a dog to the club. First of all, I will have to slap the life out of you if you did that. But that would be funny though. But so yeah, I didn't see like the big deal with this, but apparently people was upset. So when I tell people that it's like this is nothing new, that a lot of people do bring emotional support dogs everywhere, and it's something that cannot be, you're not allowed to ask people, even though I've seen some people who have emotional support, you know, coats on their dogs. I actually have seen people at the gym bringing emotional support dogs. If Sailor Mermaid was in the comments watching right now, he knows exactly who I'm talking about because we go to the same gym. That there is a guy, and I believe he's actually one of the personal trainers. He comes up in there and I've seen him with emotional support. I've seen other people bring dogs to the gym and stuff too. And this is like, let them do their thing. It's a way for them to help with the anxiety, whatever the case is. So that's why I said I don't understand why people are making a big deal out of this. But I guess it's because she's a celebrity, and she's not the only one. Because I know I wasn't all the way drunk. I did have 3 drinks because I had made one a double and one was a single. I had a vodka club soda because I was like, I'm gonna keep it clean, keep it light that night. So I didn't. Child, let me tell you, them concessions that shit ain't cheap. So when I went to and I'm like, I know I wasn't bugging because I did see somebody else in there with emotional support dog, but the dog was much bigger than the one that Demi Moore had. So I guess I didn't think much of it because A, maybe I'm so immune to it being from New York, or B, I might have had a lot of liquor in the system. So I really wasn't paying attention. But yeah, for the most part, emotional support dogs, people walking around with dogs and stuff, like I told you, I see them on the train, you see them all over the place in a lot of the public places now. And I don't know when this thing became a thing, but I remember when I was growing up, you couldn't bring a dog no damn where except to the pet store or, to the vet. Now you people bringing dogs on the train, people bringing dogs everywhere with them, even to work. So I just wanted to put that out there so that way people are aware that this is just a regular New York thing. Now, concert, that was the first time I've actually seen that happen. And it wasn't just Demi Moore. So it was her and somebody else that brought the dog to the damn Madonna concert. Okay, so Robert says, I even said she's still best friends with her ex-husband. The father of her children is basically dying, so she has to be a complete mess over this. Yeah, and I've met Bruce Willis twice, and um, what was it? Once at the Live Free or Die Hard premiere, and then the second time he was actually in my section when I worked at the Big Apple Circus. He I was the first one to recognize him, and I tell people this story to this day. I was so mad that everybody else got a picture with him except me, and he was a real nice guy. He would just want to go to concessions and get food for some snacks for his daughter, his youngest daughter, because he's married. He's got a new wife and everything, and he was pretty chill. He was pretty cool, willing to take pictures and stuff with everybody. I don't know. That could have been around the time when the diagnosis was happening, and it was on his memory was on the decline. But he was pretty cool and pretty chill. So I could definitely understand like she's got a lot going on with her personal life, and that could be one of the cases that the whole Bruce Willis situation. So she could be dealing with that. So I totally get it. And people need to be, I guess we have to be a little more sensitive to, people, especially when it comes to mental health in this country. Like we see all these homeless people and stuff and it's not just in New York City, it's in a lot of the major cities that you see like this rise in homelessness and a lot of people who are not all the way there mentally and the lack of support and the lack of help that's going on with them. So I totally get it. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic and talk about Miss Megan Thee Stallion. So I want to give a huge congratulations to her because, she has a new album coming out and she is independent. So she signed a new distribution deal with Warner Music Group. And like I said, she's going to remain independent while doing so. Now, shout out to Rolling Stone for this story. It says, this is the beginning of an exciting new chapter of my life and career. This is what Megan shared in a statement saying, I'm really focused on building an empire and growing as an entrepreneur. So I'm proud to take this next step in my journey and work with Max Lusada. and the entire Warner Music Group team in this new capacity. I know we're going to create history together. Now, through the agreement, Megan Thee Stallion's entertainment and music entity Hot Girl Productions will release her forthcoming music projects, while Warner Music Group and its international affiliates will assist with services including radio promotion and global marketing. The 28-year-old has already shared two releases via Hot Girl Productions, the skin shedding comeback single Cobra, and his scathing follow up Hiss. With his newly inked deal, Megan Thee Stallion will continue to have creative control of her output. It also provides her with the option to expand her access to Warner Music Group to any artist she brings under the umbrella of her own imprint in the future. And they said this: Megan's not just a superstar, she's an artistic force and a mogul in the making, authentic and unapologetic in defining her own unique place in the cultural landscape. Warner Music Group recording music CEO Max Lusada said in a statement, saying, so many relate to her marketable story and have witnessed her come into her power on her own terms. At Warner, we're creating an environment where original talents can explore both their creativity and entrepreneurialism while building long term careers. And I have to say this: if you want to make it in this industry, y'all definitely need to follow what Megan is doing in regards to her career, because you have to do both. You cannot just be a talent anymore. That's not going to cut it. If you want to survive in this business, you got to be able to understand the business side and you got to understand the performance side. So, like I said, this is called show business. It's not, I want to be a pop star. This is literally, you have to learn all aspects of the situation if you want to make it in this industry. So I applaud this girl for her tenacity. I applaud this girl for being able to do what she needs to do in regards of her career. And look, don't sign no label. Don't sign to no label, because first of all, ain't no money in that, and you ain't gonna see no damn money. The best way to do about it is they're looking for people who are established in their own right. So basically, go the route of a Megan, because there's a lot of people in her situation that are independent. Usher is independent with his upcoming album, the first album I think he's ever released as an indie artist. Jennifer Lopez is independent. We're gonna get into her in a minute. So a lot of people are going the more independent route when it comes to releasing music, where it's like you sign a distribution deal and they handle, the promotional and global marketing, radio promotion and global marketing. They handle all of that stuff. And then you're the one who has the idea, like, where you want to go in regards of like the overall look, the visual ideas in regards to your music video, what songs you want to put out. And look, the good thing about Megan is that she is getting, like, whenever y'all go and y'all stream and y'all buy her stuff, 100% of that stuff is going back to her. And then of course give a percentage, whatever, to Warner Music, but for the most part, she's getting a lot of that back. Whereas if when you sign to a major label, everybody gets their piece of the pie, and then you have to wait until everybody done ate before you can even get a piece of the food. Mind you, you're supposed to be the face of the on the marquee, and you the brand, and you're the artist. But everybody else is eating off of you, and then you just get the crumbs. So the smart way to go about it is going independent. Now, if you want to sit and have everybody do all the work while you sit there and look pretty, but you want to be broke, but you want to sit out here and pretend like you flossing, then go sign with a major label. Go do the 360 deal. Go be dumb and do that. But in regards of what Megan's doing, I'm actually proud of the direction that she has taken in regards of her career and taking her career in her own hands. And also, Megan, dear, do not fall into the debris, the mess, the tornado, all this other craziness that's been going on in the past week. You said what you said on his. You put it out there. You said you coming out with different versions of the song. We'll see how well that does. I mean, I know the song is doing really well, even though there's people out here who trying to say it's not. Lies y'all tell. But for the most part, the song is doing really well. I see people are definitely buying it on iTunes. The song is doing really well on the other charts, the Billboard charts, and all this stuff. So, girl, good for you. You got a new album coming out. I'm sure she's gonna be doing SNL. She's about to go on tour. So the kids out here love her, and the industry is willing to work with somebody who is not problematic, and that's why she's getting all the accolades that she's getting. Cardi B could be doing that too if she actually focused on her damn career, but she's running out here doing God knows what at this point. Maybe she's finally putting the final touches on that new album, that sophomore album y'all been waiting 12 years for. So good luck, daughter. Okay, so I see we have a comment. His is expected to top the Hot 100 this Sunday. Well, that's good for her. And it is the rare independent feat because Lisa Loeb topped the top Hot 100 30 years ago as an unsigned artist. Can I tell you, I got a Lisa Loeb story too. I tell you, I've been around. I actually did a Priceline.com commercial with her a million years ago. So, yeah. So that's my Lisa Loeb story. We did a Priceline.com commercial together. I don't know how many years ago maybe that was like 20 years ago or something or another. Yeah. So I have look, I told you I've been around for a long time. Mother has lived. Okay, so let's move on to the next the comment or topic. Child, what is wrong with me today? Excuse me. And move on to the next topic. And so about Miss Ayo Edebiri. I like her name because it's like you could say Ayo or yes, it's like you calling somebody Ayo. So I like her. Um, I wasn't really that familiar with Ayo until I saw her on The Bear. I did see some people trying to throw shade at her. But who is she to talk shit about Jennifer Lopez? Jennifer Lopez is a superstar. I'm like, okay, that's great. And yeah, we know Jennifer Lopez has been a legend, has been around for what, since the 90s, so almost 30 years. However, Ayo is a critically acclaimed award-winning actress who has a Golden Globe and an Emmy. And so her career is on the rise. But child, that's why I tell y'all gotta, if you gonna say some stuff, either scrub the internet clean or stand 10 toes down in your beliefs. Because shit will come and bite you in the butt. And biting it did. Because I think it was 24 hours before she was set to host SNL. Not even a video, audio clip surfaced on social media of Ayo Edebiri throwing shade at Jennifer Lopez's singing abilities. Now, we do have the clip in case y'all didn't hear it. But even if you did hear it, just humor me and let's just all listen to it as a class because you know this is a messy ass show. Please.
Today I was actually thinking about one of my favorite scams of all time, because J-Lo is hosting or is performing at the Super Bowl halftime
she
show.
is, which is a scam in itself.
And her whole career is one long scam.
Oh, the longest con. J-Lo can't sing. And did you know that J-Lo doesn't know that she can't sing?
Well, that's the thing that is...
She did an interview and then she was like, I never knew that people didn't think I could sing. I thought I could sing.
Like, she thought that she was on... She thinks she's on multiple tracks, but it's not her. I think she thinks that she's still good, even though like she's not singing for most of these songs. Like a lot, and I was reading up because I was fascinated. I became fascinated for myself, and a lot of the write-ups of the song will be like, J-Lo didn't have time to make it to the studio. Like, J-Lo was busy. It's like, doing what? Not singing, obviously. Today I was actually...
So that was shady, but that was actually funny. See, now, okay, so there might have been some valid points on what Ayo said because back in the day, I do feel like J-Lo was kind of like just going through the motions. She wanted to be the whole pop star, capitalizing off of, being in the movie Selena and all that stuff. And they were like, you know what? You're a really good dancer. You're an okay singer. So we'll just get you in the studio and we could use that as an opportunity to like prop you up as this next big pop act, which in my mind, back in the day when I saw Selena, I was like, you know what? I forgot Jennifer Lopez was a fly girl on A Living Color. I was like, you know what? She has a decent voice or whatever. So maybe they could market her in a way of like transitioning her into music. So that wasn't my whole mindset. Then all of a sudden she comes out with an album. I'm like, well, damn, maybe at my little baby age, I should have been a mogul. But apparently her people was on it before I was. So she did her thing and she became worked hard to become the star that she was. However, Jennifer Lopez it took her many years before she had the courage to get out there and tour. She would do these one-off live specials or whatever, but she never really toured like a Madonna or a Beyonce or one of those girls. So I get where Ayo was coming from, even though it was a little harsh, it was a little shady. It was the fact that, yeah, you were spending a lot of time making your movies and acting and all the other stuff. That, yes, you would drop in the studio every now and again, and there was a lot of times when, yes, they still would throw shade and be like, oh, she's using Ashanti vocals, she's using Christina Milian vocals. Sidebar. Are y'all looking at on the right hand side where it says Ashanti and she's trending? Now, if I click this and y'all doing that shadiness about Jennifer Lopez vocals, let's be nosy and see what they. I hate you. Oh no, they showing she pregnant. Okay, congratulations, girl. They talking about that because she looking a little thicky thick, so she might be with y'all. Yeah, she is looking bigger than usual because Ashanti be snatched for the gods. That body be bodying. So yeah, she got a baby in that oven. Okay, so anyway, because that's what I thought it was. Because I was like, every time Jennifer Lopez name be trending, the first thing y'all do is y'all run and throw the Ashanti read, or y'all throw up the Mariah meme. I know because I play around with it too. Every now and again, even though when I say my true tea, the reason stuff got to be thrown in. But anyway, so I feel like that's where Ayo was coming from with that, was the fact that maybe in the beginning of her career, she really wasn't taking the vocal thing seriously, which is why, Mariah always said what she said. She was like, oh, well, yeah, if I, I guess she was alluding to the fact that because Jennifer Lopez one time said that she sleeps 8 hours a day, she said, well, if I didn't, in so many words, if I wasn't singing a lot of my songs or whatever, I'd be able to sleep 8 hours too. Something to the effect of that. So I don't feel like she took it seriously back then, but I have noticed over the past couple of years, and we need to give J-Lo her flowers where it needs to be, she has improved in her vocals. She has been taking the vocal lessons. She's been working a lot harder on, you know, singing the songs and doing all those stuff. And so it does seem like she is really invested in not in giving, show and performance, all this stuff, instead of what's the word? Instead of just going through the emotions and all the other mess. Because it does feel like this is the first time in a long time, especially with this new album coming out, that she seems hungry. And she seems like she really wants to give y'all some pops. I don't know if the songs are doing well on the charts, especially like Can't Get Enough. She's come out with so many different versions of the song now. She had the one version with her in the wedding. Then she did the remix with Lotto. And then when she appeared on SNL, she had Lotto and Redman. Which, shout out to Redman. I always love me some Redman. First of all, I always tell you my favorite episode of Cribs is with Redman. He was like the realest of the real when it came to his episode of Cribs. But other than that, it was just like it felt very New York. Even though, where's Lotto from? I don't think she's from New York. Or is she? I don't know. I've never really checked on her background, but I love the fact that it's got that old school vibe. I do like the song. Jennifer Lopez did sing live, so I know she was really having to prove herself. Especially when Ayo told me she can't sing. She was like, bitch, I'm gonna show you my ass can sing these notes. I may not have the most spectacular voice in the world, but I'm gonna hit these notes. And I have to give that to Jennifer Lopez. Yes, she is not the best singer in the world, but at least she works with what she has. And I think people need to kind of give artists credit and stop always looking at the pinnacle of singing is Aretha Franklin, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, and that sort of thing. That is not the only pinnacle of vocal ability. So I think people need to kind of get off that high horse and stop talking and as if that is the overall standard of singing. It's like if you're there's different levels. There's the Adeles, then you have your Madonna, Janet, Britney, Jennifer Lopez, Sierra's. You have the Beyonce. You have the different levels of where people are with their singing. And my thing is, if you have a clear idea of a point of view and you want to use your voice to give your art or creativity or whatever the case is, then I say do that. Even if you don't have the best voice in the world, go to a vocal teacher, have them show like basically train you to use your voice to the best of the ability. Oh, and let me throw in Kylie Minogue too, because people used to throw shade at Kylie Minogue like she couldn't sing either. But that bitch would she reads, she reads y'all down to the ground with the vocals. So people always have to shut up when it comes to her because I have seen Kylie perform twice and people have consistently thrown shit, oh, she can't sing and us. They used to say that shit back in the day. Kylie Minogue can sing her ass off. I have seen her live twice, so I know. And you've seen her perform on a lot of shows and stuff. Her mic is always on. So, and Madonna can sing too. I know a lot of people throw shade at Madonna to my, oh, she can't sing. Yeah, okay. Then how come a lot of her biggest hits are ballads? A lot of Madonna's biggest hits are her ballads, not her big dance tracks, not Confessions and a Dance. It's the ballads. Live to Tell, Rain, like those are her big hits. Trust and believe when I tell you this. So, um, to wrap this story up, Ayo did address the backlash. Well, not backlash, because who backlashed her? Was it the Jennifer Lopez fans? But anyway, so Ayo basically addressed the situation last night, and it said that SNL gave her a chance for amends with its spoof game show called Why Just Say It. It all started, with the whole scam thing. We were told about that. And it said, so now Kenan Thompson was the host of the sketch show, Why Just Say It, and asked contestants to explain their comments on social media. Now, Edebiri's character was asked, did you write die on an Instagram video of sweet Drew Barrymore celebrating in the rain? Another contestant had to explain the words left for Congresswoman AOC on Instagram saying she was hot for Congress. A chagrined and nervous Edebiri eventually blurted out the reason her character posted what she did, a stream that doubled as an explanation for her past JLo comments, saying, okay, we get it. It's wrong to leave mean comments or post comments just for clout or run your mouth on a podcast and you don't consider the impact because you're 24 and stupid. And yeah, here's the thing, is that Ayo is young. She was 24 at the time. She's what, in her late 20s now? Because that was like 4 years ago. So she said she was 24. She's about 28, 29. Shit happens. We all say things, we put our foot in our mouth and we say stuff and not knowing, like, okay, years later. Like, look, I know for me, I say a lot of shit on this show. And I'm sure that one of these days I'm going to run into these celebrities. And you know what? It's either I'm going to apologize or stand 10 toes down on what I say. This is why I try to hit all cylinders before I throw the dagger. So, or hit my target. So I get it. She made a mistake. She said what she said, and it's funny how. So I'm starting to think SNL, did y'all set her up? Because it was so funny how they were so quick to come up with this game, right? And the opportunity for her to apologize when the video leaked literally on Friday, and then Saturday y'all just had this. Y'all just so happened to have this thing ready. So I'm starting to think that there was some shady ass producer that was behind the scenes that was aware of this situation and decided to blow this shit up the way they blew it up. So whoever the producer was, you was real smart for doing what you did, but you messy. But I don't even know if I said it because I was saying so much other stuff. But yeah, I thought Jennifer Lopez did a good job with both performances. She performed Can't Get Enough, lost a piece of hair. I know there was a hair malfunction. One of her extensions came out, her magic hair, as they call it, came out. And then she performed This Is Me Now, which was a cute song. And she was making sure she was hitting that note. She was a little off at points, especially when she was trying to do, I guess it was like a rap part. Um, she was trying to be on key with the backing track, but and she was, at times you could hear it was a little off, but for the most part, she was going through it. You got to work on that breath control a little bit. But I get it. This is the first time you perform the song. I'm sure if she decides to go on tour, which in my opinion, I actually hope she does. I hope she decides to tour this album because I'm sure a lot of people would like to see her on tour. I know she's got a new movie coming out on Netflix. That's like a space movie or something or another. Netflix premiered I think it's their upfronts on a lot of the stuff that they're going to be releasing this year, and the hair was looking fierce. And I was like, oh, I want to see Jennifer Lopez in a sci-fi space film. So I do like that she's taking more risks with the acting, the singing. It's cute. I'm looking forward to hearing the new album when it comes out in 2 weeks. It's not coming out next week because Usher's album comes out next week, and she ain't that stupid to be trying to release her album the same time as Usher, especially when he's about to do the Super Bowl. So, um, kudos to her. And I'm glad that JLo was doing what she's doing in regards to the career and stuff. Okay, so let's get to the comments. It said it was basically Tommy's way of getting revenge on his ex-girlfriend and biggest at Mariah Carey. Well, a lot of people felt that Tommy Mottola did use Jennifer Lopez as a way to get back at Mariah Carey at the time. And you know what? I think Jennifer Lopez was just so happy that she got a deal and she was gonna get to become the big superstar that she was by any means necessary, that she was willing to do whatever she needed to do for it. And if Mariah Carey was going to be the sacrificial lamb, no pun intended on the lamb part, then excuse me, I guess so be it. So yeah, oh Lord, I know she still probably regrets that. But yeah, her being able to use the N word in the song, no, that wasn't Ashanti's vocals, and when she said the N part, that was her. That was definitely Jennifer Lopez's vocals. Now, it was probably I think it was part of the lyrics, and because I think what people don't realize in New York, and this is another thing I got to explain about New Yorkers versus everywhere else. Latinos saying ninja in public like it's nothing is normal. That's why I think a lot of people was mad at Fat Joe when he was saying it. And it's like, if you're from New York, I can tell you the amount of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, anybody of the Latino community that uses the N word like it's nothing, because it is a part of the New York language. Now, I ain't saying it's right, but when it comes to, New York, that is just a thing that is said in New York slang. So, but then I guess she didn't realize that outside of that, because you had Irv Gotti and you had who was it? Oh, Ja Rule and all of them. You was under Murder Inc. and they were producing a lot of your remixes from the J Lo album, I believe. So when you're in that bubble, you're not thinking about like how the outside world sees things. But yeah, New York is pretty standard. People say all kinds of stuff. That I said, like New York is completely like the way we see things and the way things are done here. It's completely different than the rest of the world. That's why I think it's such a culture shock that once people leave New York and they go to other states, they're surprised how vastly different like the energy in the world shifts versus when you come to New York. Because New York, the energy here, the way people are, the way the land is laid out is completely different than it's like if you go to Jersey, if you go to Long Island, you go to Connecticut or Philly and all these other places. Because I do notice that for the many places that I have visited and I have lived in, the energy completely shifts when you leave New York. It's like no energy like it is in New York City. Thank you to her gay bottom bestie. And now her vocal coach, Stevie Mackey. Who, he be working hard on making sure them vocals be on point. All right, so now let's move on to our next topic and talk about Alyssa Milano. So she is finally addressing the accusations made by Shannen Doherty and Holly Marie Combs on Shannon's podcast. I forgot the name of the podcast. Wait, that's why I was stalling. I was like, wait a minute, what's the name of the podcast again? But anyway, so Alyssa appeared during the Who's the Boss panel at MegaCon in Orlando on Friday. Now, the actress said that the firing claims made by former co-stars Holly Marie Combs on Doherty's podcast in December 2023 made her sad. She said, and I quote, "I will just say that I'm sad. I don't think it's really that I'm sad for me or for my life or how it does or does not affect my life. It's the most sad for the fans. I'm the most sad that a show that has meant so much to so many people has been tarnished by a toxicity that is still to this day, almost a quarter of a century later, still happening." She added, "I'm sad that people can't move past it. I'm sad that we all can't just celebrate the success of a show that meant so much to all of us." She described her life and around the time that Doherty, who's 52, was fired from the show in 2001 as hard. She says, "I worked super hard in my life in the last 25 years to heal all of my trauma." Milano said, noting that the process included healing more trauma than just the trauma that I experienced while shooting the show. The insatiable star said that she intended to be a healed person that helps heal people and added that she wished that Combs, who's 50, and Doherty could all sit on a stage with her to discuss any long-standing issues. Milano said she's already apologized for the part she played in what happened on the Charm set so that she doesn't know how else to fix it. Saying, I even don't know if I could put myself out there any more than I already have to try to fix it. She said she calls the situation heartbreaking and uncomfortable. She concluded by apologizing to Charm fans who loved us anyway, saying that their love was healing for her. And then she also addressed the situation between her and Combs and Doherty in an Instagram post on Saturday, saying the following. She said, I was asked about the Charmed experience. Well, you know what? Let me pull up the Instagram post so that we all can see it as a class. Because I was like, yeah, we definitely need to do a follow up on this whole situation. And she said, no, it's okay because clearly, you're all Charm fans. So I knew this was going to come up in one way or another. And I want to be very thoughtful on how I respond to any of this. And I think we all know I'm talking about Shannon Doherty's podcast and Holly Marie Combs and Shannon doing it together. The things that Rose McGowan has said in the past. So I'm just going to address it because I feel like if you can live with a certain amount of honesty and integrity, then you all deserve that. But I want to be thoughtful because I don't want to add on to anyone else's pain because I don't think that's cool either. I will just say that I'm sad and I don't know. I already read all this other stuff. So, I don't think I really need to address all that. So she said she was just dealing with a lot of her trauma, so much, um, that's been going on throughout her childhood and the stuff that was on the show and outside the show and in her personal life. And saying that she wishes that she could jump on a stage and stuff and deal with the other stuff. But she did add, so we should add to that. She's like, I don't know one other show that has had the success that Charm has had when the cast still speaks ill of the experience a quarter of a century later. This is 15 movies and 13 TV shows ago for me. This was 11 years before my 15-year marriage and 13 years before having my first child. This was so long ago that any retelling of these stories from anyone is just revisionist history. I will add, though, with absolute certainty, everything was documented. There was a professional mediator. I was told Holly and Shannon would not participate in any mediation, and an offset producer babysitter who were both brought in to investigate all claims. It was then recommended by the mediator, after collecting testimony from cast and crew, that changes would be made if the show was going to continue. The studio, Aaron Spelling, the N Network, made the decision to protect the international hit that was Charmed. I did not have the power to get anyone fired. Once Shannon left, we had 5 more successful seasons, and I am forever grateful. Also, footnote, I have the same attorney now that I had then. He's been my attorney since I was 19. And then she says, thanks to Collider for printing what I said verbatim. So Collider did a story and then they posted everything that she said without trying to edit and all that other stuff. So, and she also said in closing, as always, I wish Holly, Shannon, and Rose peace and light in their personal and professional journeys. We all have bigger demons to fight. Hashtag let's be clear. Hashtag sorry not sorry. Hashtag charmed. Hashtag Alyssa Milano. So she ain't sorry for it. She said, bitch, I said what I said. Shout out to Doja Cat. But look, I just feel like maybe, is it a lost in translation situation? Do you think that maybe it was the girls that were having issues with each other? Or do you think maybe it was the powers that be, the execs? Because it always seemed like at the end of the day, even when Shannon and Holly were saying the stuff about Alyssa, and then Alyssa's been saying stuff finally back, to me, I'm reading between the lines. It feels like there was some behind the scenes BS that was starting between execs, where I think it was that when the girls started to want to take initiative and take control and want to have a say so in their characters and all the other stuff, that maybe the producers were kind of like, oh no, we need to kind of start some beef between these ladies to as a distraction, so that way they don't try to get hip to wanting to have any insight into the characters and all this. So I don't know, because Hollywood gets real funny in that way, where it's just like y'all want to keep the women fighting. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Like at the end of the day, I'm a huge Charm fan. It was a show that I grew up watching as a kid. Um, I love Alyssa Milano. Like I've been a fan of her since she was Samantha Bacellion, who's the boss. And look, we even had the spinoff Living Dolls. Remember that show when they introduced the cousin Leah Remini? She was on the episode of Who's the Boss. Then they gave her own spinoff, Living Dolls, that Halle Berry was on. So I'm taking y'all back. So um, I think that show lasted like one season. It was a show about girls that were trying to be models or whatever. And Alyssa Milano has had a long-standing career, and I've never really heard her being problematic. Although I know she got in trouble recently when she was trying to start like this GoFundMe for her son's sports team or whatever, and people started dragging her over that. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. I don't have kids. I don't understand that whole fight situation, so I'm staying away from that. Sticking to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to. And that's talking about drama on TV sets. So I like all the women, including Rose McGowan. And I love Charmed as a series. That was a show, like I said, I grew up on. And it's unfortunate that this is what the legacy has become for a show that I actually like. And I'm really hoping that the ladies can find some type of common ground where they can work things out and they can get together. And who knows, maybe down the road we can get a proper um Charm reunion with all the Hollowell sisters, Prue, Piper, Phoebe, and Paige. I don't know. Y'all can find a way to bring Prue back. So I just really hope that the ladies are able to work it out in some sort of way, and that the the legacy of Charm can be repaired. That's all we can hope for. All right, so I see we got some comments. Oh look, Miss Tarot D is in the building. Hey, hey. I said, I can't believe they are still talking about all of this. It's been like to agree exactly, and that's why I was like, because Alyssa recently talked about it. I was like, let me just give my 2 cents and wrap that up because it's only right that she gives her side, even though Shannon and Holly have said their side. Doherty was a low grade actress who basically had issues in everything she ever did, and I'm thinking like, you know what? That's why I said I've never really heard any drama with Alyssa. Like Alyssa's had a long-standing career. I've never really heard anything negative or bad about her on movie sets or TV sets or whatever the case was. Every time Shannon Doherty was on a set, there was always some issues, be it 90210 and then Charm. And they're both Aaron Spelling shows. So it kind of makes you think at one point, like, are you the problem? So sometimes that's I guess the only way we could look at it. And like I said, I loved all 3 ladies, and they had such great chemistry. Like I know if y'all want to watch Charm, it is on Prime Video. Y'all can definitely watch that and get into it. All right, so let's get to our next comment. Topic. I don't know what is going on with me today. I'm just calling everything comments. Let's get on next topic and talk about No Doubt. So y'all already know that they're set to hit the stage at Coachella this year. But according to Radar Online, Gwen Stefani is allegedly tired of playing second fiddle to her country hit making husband Blake Shelton and had this idea of getting No Doubt back and a bid to reclaim her Queen of Ska Punk throne. Now, while Stefani, who's 54, is eager to reunite, Insider claims her bandmates weren't as open to the idea. Stefani reportedly begged her old group to pick up their instruments and hit the stage for her again. And this is according to Radar Online. I should point out. They said Gwen reached out to the guys in the band and practically begged them to reunite. This is what they told the National Enquirer. Stefani's alleged begging eventually worked. No Doubt was announced as the headliner for this year's Coachella Music Festival in Cali. They're set to make a highly anticipated comeback in front of big crowds and music power brokers. It's a perfect place to announce she's back and taking no prisoners. This is what the source added on No Doubt's Coachella return. The 54-year-old Grammy winner rocketed to rock stardom in the 90s with hits like Just a Girl and Don't Speak. She additionally performed at the 2003 Super Bowl with the boys from her Orange County, California home. I actually forgot she performed in the Super Bowl. The hits kept coming after she went solo in 2004, but these days she's better known as an on-off voice coach and Shelton's wife. And they're claiming that it's been a blow to her ego. She used to live at the top of the charts, but now she's more like a real housewife of Orange County. I wouldn't be surprised if y'all got Gwen Stefani to be on Real Housewives of OC, but that was a read. Moreover, outside of duets with Shelton, she hasn't had a hit song in years. When Gwen and Blake first got together, she was the biggest star, but the tables have turned and that's made things tense between the two. It says Stefani has sacrificed a lot to help her husband's career, including stepping away from The Voice to spend more time at home with her sons Kingston 17, Zuma 15, and Apollo 9 from a marriage to Bush frontman Gavin Rosdale. Now she's itching to make a comeback. So here's the thing. Do I believe this story? I don't know. I'm like, okay, this sounds like y'all just made this shit up. But then again, truer things have been said in some reads and some shade and some rumors. So I wouldn't be surprised if Gwen Stefani is getting that itch. Because every now and again you get those pop stars that is like, you know what? Gwen is a touring act. She's not somebody who is topping the charts. I love Gwen Stefani. I love No Doubt. Like I said, I grew up on No Doubt. No Doubt is my generation's. Damn, I forgot what Lindsay said. Of the type of band. I guess we could call it like my generation's Rolling Stones or something or another like that. Like that's like the band that I grew up listening to. It was, you know, No Doubt, Nine Inch Nails, Tool, that sort of thing. Like that's my generation's music. Metallica, that was way before my time. I was an infant when they was releasing music. So I can't speak on that, but I was more like I'm a '90s kid. So um a lot of the music that was coming from that era, it was like that's my generation's music. So um yeah, but you have to realize like the times they are changing. Like a lot of the artists that were on top back then, a lot of the younger kids aren't really listening to them. Like I told you, they're listening to um Ice Spice releasing music about gas. So that's what y'all demographic be into. My generation, it was like, it was all about the MTV era. MTV ain't it no more. Like they're not really releasing music videos. They don't really have their finger on the pulse of pop culture and music. All it is now is RuPaul's Drag Race and ridiculousness and new seasons of Jersey Shore and the challenge. Like that's what MTV is now. But my generation is like they have songs, but now they have to find other ways to remain relevant. And a lot of times, the only way that you can get some kind of relevancy or even touch the younger generation, you got to do The Voice. You got to do a lot of these reality competition singing shows, so that way people are even aware of you are. Or like even Usher. A lot of the younger generation ain't listening to Usher, but they're gonna know who the fuck Usher is next week. I was like, tonight? No, tonight is the Grammys. I had to think for a second. Tonight's the Grammys, which I'll definitely be watching, but they'll know who Usher is next week when they see him take that damn stage and he shows y'all at 45 that he can dance circles around your faves, who's a quarter his age. But anyway, so I say all this to say, I'm looking forward to seeing her performance and reuniting with No Doubt when I watch the Coachella performances on YouTube, because Coachella ain't going. I will watch it when they do the live stream on YouTube, because they stream it every year. And are people hungry for a new Gwen Stefani album or No Doubt? I feel like at this point she's got enough hits. She's got enough hits with No Doubt. She's got enough hits on her own that she could just do a full on tour of those songs and make a shit ton of money. And if it inspires enough in her to want to get in the studio and record new music, she could do that. But at this point in the time of her career, I do not think that she is threatened by Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton is no longer on The Voice. He's off doing whatever he's doing. Maybe he's now interested in focusing on his music career, because it took such a back seat while he was coaching on The Voice and winning every season. But I can't remember name one person that has won under his reign that has been successful. If they have, let me know in the comments. But for the most part, nobody ever remembers who wins on The Voice. It's always been about the celebrity coaches and that sort of thing. So good luck to you, Gwen. But as far as like her being afraid of being upstaged by Blake, I don't believe that for 1 second. So Robert says it's another reunion that people want, and Gwen wants to be solo. Give us No Doubt reunion tour. Well, that's what she's giving. She's giving the people what they want. She's giving y'all a No Doubt reunion tour. It's like in reality, she wants to be solo, but I don't know if there's an audience out there that cares enough. Look, it's the same damn thing I said about Justin Timberlake. Quiet as it's kept. I don't know anybody who wanted this solo tour. Although when I was coming home from work yesterday, I will say this: I did happen out of the corner of my eye look at the jumbotron, and Justin's got 2 shows coming in the summer to Madison Square Garden. So we'll see if them tickets sell out. Um, but yeah, but I do think it's smart for her to get the old band back together and go on tour because to me, yeah, Gwen had the cute little solo songs, but I was a bigger No Doubt fan than I was a Gwen Stefani solo fan. I will say that. True about about the not listening, and that's why these drag queens don't know the word. Child, don't get me started on Mirage not knowing the words to Dark Lady. I was like, how do you not know that song? I do love that song though. Like, I'm not a real big Cher fan, but I remember what made me become a fan besides Believe in that whole era. I remember I had this gay friend who was Indian and he was obsessed with Cher. And he used to talk about her so damn. I said, let me just listen to what this damn boy be so obsessed with. And so I started listening to her music because he always talked about Cher. So I listened, I was like, okay, all right, okay, all right, you convinced me. So it was more than just turn back time, but Cher's an icon. But it's like, yeah, if y'all gonna be doing these shows, especially when you gotta impress RuPaul, y'all better get to learning these damn songs and stop playing. All right, so let's move on to our next comment and talk about Issa Rae, who was throwing shade at Hollywood, and rightfully so. So, Ray, shout out to Variety for the story. So they said that Ray has never seen Hollywood this scared and clueless and at the mercy of Wall Street. This is what she recently told Time Magazine during a cover interview. The Insecure Emmy nominee has been making the press rounds and speaking out against Hollywood for pulling back on investing in inclusive stories. Because remember at one point they was all talking about, oh yeah, we get all inclusive. I told y'all that was a bunch of goddamn lip service. Because over the years, everybody was like, Oscar's so white, blah, 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 all that other stuff. And then Hollywood tends to do this thing. Oh, let's shut them the fuck up one time a year because I think they think once is enough, but it's hard for us to be consistent in wanting to keep the momentum going. So they started slowly removing people that were a part of these diversity organizations that was embedded within the studios. Started slowly removing their jobs. And then so y'all started to notice a lot of these diverse shows were getting canceled after one damn season or two seasons. So I already said in the beginning, I gave it the side eye, but people be looking at me like I'm crazy or I'm a cynic. Maybe I am, but I've been around long enough in this industry to know how Hollywood like to play in people's faces, and they love to just put up they like to save face, and they like to put on this united front and act like, oh, we're the most liberal, you know, studio in all the land, full of damn racists and bigots. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. And so she said, you're seeing so many black shows getting canceled. You're seeing so many executives, especially on the DEI side, get canned. And that's what I was just talking about. And she recently said in a Porter interview, she said, you're seeing very clearly now that our stories are less of a priority. It's making me take more steps to try to be independent down the line if I have to. Variety reported last month that Max had canceled Ray's comedy show, Rap-ish, after two seasons. Ray was the executive producer on the series and brought the show to Max under an ongoing deal with Warner Media, which she signed in 2021 after the success of her HBO comedy series, Insecure. Ray told Time Magazine that she's still developing two new shows for HBO, including a project set in an alternate present that she plans to create, write, and star in. There is a bitterness to just like who suffers from you guys pulling back. People of color always do. She told Time, and Hollywood pulling back from diverse stories. I'm sorry, but there aren't a lot of smart executives anymore. Later added during the interview, saying a lot of them have aged out and are holding on to positions and refusing to let young blood get in. Now these conglomerate leaders are also making the decisions about Hollywood. Y'all aren't creative people. Stick to the money. The people who are taking chances, are on platforms like TikTok. That's what's getting the eyeballs to the youth. So you're killing your own industry. And they said despite industry changes, she feels secure about her current partnership with HBO. However, she is reevaluating her feasibility of smaller, quieter projects now that Hollywood studios seem to be turning their backs on them for greater frequency. Saying when you have all of these streaming services that are competing with each other, it means they're also moving the goalposts of what success looks like and what their brand is. It's all mush. I know what my brand identity is and what I want to make. And if that doesn't align with who's paying me to make stuff, then that's complex. We are malleable, but only to an extent. So she said a whole lot of things here. So let's unpack it. I do agree with her on the idea of her saying there aren't a lot of smart executives. Because quiet as it's kept, I don't think there are. There's a lot of people who are more or less interested in running, the bottom line is I don't want to lose money. I don't want to get fired. If I make the wrong move, I'm going to lose my job, which is ridiculous, in my opinion. How a lot of people have this mental idea of like, well, if I make one false move, I'm going to be out of a job. And it's like, that's part of you working in Hollywood. It's all a risk, it's all a gamble. So I don't understand how people are busy running around worrying about, oh, if I make the wrong move, if I make the wrong decision, why is it so cold in here? I was like, if I make the wrong move, if I make the wrong decision, if I happen to just do something where it's like, oh, if I green light this thing and it doesn't work out, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. It's like, well, look, that's par for the course. I don't think that people should come at it from this way. If you feel that like that, then maybe this isn't the industry for you. So, and I do agree with her that at the end of the day, people of color always suffer in these situations. White people can put out as many shows as they want. And if it gets canceled, oh, that's fine. I can always find something else to do. I can always get another job. I can always develop something. The Hollywood will always roll out the red carpet for you. But when it comes to people of color, a lot of our stories are few and far between, especially if we talk about queer people of color. Um, a lot of times there's a huge gap in wanting that to happen. Like, how long have we been wanting to see something with stories revolving queer people of color? Like, what happened to the Noah's Ark movie that was supposed to be coming out last year? Still haven't heard anything about that. Or, there was supposed to be the sequel to Trick. There's been so many different things that's supposed to be coming out in regard, and especially there's not a lot of stories that's being told in regards of like Black people, Latin stories, Asian stories, queer stories. Like, these are the things we want. Like, it's not just Black people that's complaining. There was a whole story that came out last year with so many gay shows have been canceled after one season, especially over on Netflix. They love playing in our face with shows where they'll put a show. I'm like, oh, we decided to cancel it. Okay, so when was y'all gonna tell us? Like, why should I even invest in these shows anymore when y'all do that? And then on top of it, there's way too many goddamn streaming services. And I'm noticing that the streaming services are eating each other. We're gonna get into the story about Candace Bushnell from Sex and the City and then that bull that they're pulling over there with her. And how, what is the point of me having Max when I can watch Sex and the City now on Netflix? Like, where they do that at? Like, the whole point of me having these different streaming services was there should be a reason why I'm going to the streaming service to watch things that other streaming services don't have. Netflix is just swallowing everything up. And that seems to be the go-to. Even though y'all piss me off because y'all keep raising y'all goddamn prices, it seems like every damn week. But now it's getting to the point where it's like, I'm gonna just start cutting down on my streaming services. And I'm noticing too, Netflix, y'all think y'all slick. You think I ain't noticed. If y'all look at the way they're shooting their videos and how a lot of the aesthetic of their videos are starting to look, I'm noticing y'all copying off of Apple. Because a lot of the shows that are on Apple and stuff, I'm noticing visually and aesthetically, visually, same word. A lot of the way that y'all films and y'all TV shows are shot, I noticed that y'all trying to steal a lot of the ideas from Apple TV. Apple TV got some good stuff on their channel. I don't know if a lot of people subscribe to Apple TV, but I know Netflix, y'all trying to be slick and copy off of them. So Apple TV has found a way to distinguish themselves from the pack. So I feel like out of the three services that I probably will end up keeping, because I'm gonna start making some cuts. Netflix, Prime Video, because I just renewed my Prime Video. Then I did add the extra $3 thing. I don't know if y'all got that email, but I did add the extra $3 thing. But that's not, from what it was explained, I was against it at first. But the way it was explained, shout out to John Campion for explaining it. So the way it was explained was the fact that you're not necessarily paying for the no ad thing on the streaming or on Prime Video, you're paying for the other stuff. So it's like, say if I want to order something on Amazon and I need it in 24 hours or a couple hours or a day or two. That's the extra money that's what that extra money is going towards. So it's going towards all the other stuff. It just seems like you're paying for the streaming thing. I think that's just the surfaceness. But for the most part, that extra $3 is paying for that quick delivery stuff that we all take for granted with Amazon. And because I do buy a lot of stuff on Amazon, I shop on Amazon more than anything else. I think that is the reason why I was willing to up the money. Now, Hulu, you getting on my goddamn nerve because I see now all of a sudden Hulu's pulling this mess where they're trying to what was it? Oh, then they're trying to do the whole the password sharing thing. So they're trying to copy off of Disney Plus and Netflix with the whole password sharing. So Hulu, you getting on my goddamn nerves, even though y'all keep upping y'all damn prices on stuff, and y'all don't even have enough shows over there worth even for the price for the ass that y'all asking for. What y'all got over there? The new Capote thing with the one thing that Demi Moore's in, the new feud thing that's going on. I haven't watched that yet. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all have seen it yet, how it is. But for the most part, to wrap this whole story up, I do agree with Issa Rae on this. It's the fact that Hollywood is out of control. I think they're having a crisis, an identity crisis. They're trying to figure out what it is, how they fit in and stuff in regards to the streaming services and all other stuff. And to me, it's just like the y'all need to figure out what it is y'all doing and stop having us people be the casualty in y'all war. So y'all need to figure it out. And and shout out to I also want to give a shout out to Jordan Peele because he seemed to be the one, even though he's not even an exec of a network. He's taking a huge risk with that new movie coming out with Dev Patel, who, oh my God, I didn't realize how good looking Dev Patel is. I never really looked at him like that until I seen him in that Monkey Man movie. I don't know if y'all seen that trailer, but if y'all have not seen the trailer to the Monkey Man trailer, definitely check that out. So Dev Patel is playing this guy who seeks revenge on this guy who works in India for, I think, the death of his mother. So he wears this Monkey Man mask and he does martial arts and he's like seeking revenge. So it's like this real vengeance, John Wick, The Raid type of vibe set in India. I'm actually looking forward to it. So it's like, to sum it up, it's like the Indian John Wick. And y'all know I love me some John Wick and I love me some action movies and stuff in that vein. So I'm actually looking forward to that movie. So Jordan Peele saw that film. They was initially just going to drop it on Netflix like it was just some throwaway film. When you see the trailer, it was like, wait a minute, this shit deserves a theatrical release. So Jordan Peele happened to see the movie and he's like, oh, hell no. So he went, got the rights to the film, got Universal to distribute the film, and it's coming out in April. So my ass will be in the theater watching that, and I will come on here and give y'all a review because I'm like, we have to support diverse stories to show Hollywood that we want to see other things besides the same BS. We don't want to keep seeing Fast 29. We don't want to keep seeing the latest Dwayne Johnson movie. He's playing the same fucking character. We don't want to see another goddamn superhero movie. I mean, we do want to see a superhero movie if you got a good story to tell with it. But we're tired of seeing the same stories being told over and over and over and over and over again. If you take a risk, if you put out a story with people want to see a different story with diverse people and diverse characters, fuck y'all with the woke shit. Because y'all get on my nerves with that too. Where some people, you trying to be woke. Well, only white people are allowed to tell stories in Hollywood? So if you're gonna tell an authentic story that it just so happens to be this person is a woman, that this person happens to be a homosexual, that this person happens to be Indian, then I'm here to see those stories. I don't want to just be like power, and then you just think I'm just gonna show up and see a movie. No, it needs to be an authentic story for me in order to support it. So yeah, if y'all happen to go and check it out, definitely see that movie Monkey Man and go to the movies and support it because then it goes to show that Jordan Peele was right in his convictions. He saw this movie. He's like, no, people need to see this in the theater, not no damn Netflix, because it doesn't hit the same. I want to go to I want to go to the movies and see a film that where I can react with an audience. We're like, oh, that fight sequence. And it's like, how's everybody else around me reacting to it? Are they reacting the same way I'm reacting? Are they seeing things the way I'm seeing things? So I kind of like that camaraderie when I go to a theater, depending on what the film is. So yeah. So shout out to him. And shout out to Issa. And hopefully we get more people that think like her and are willing to step up and be like, you know what? We can't just be allowing Hollywood to just play in our faces like this. Now, before we get to the Sex and the City story, we got a lot of comments. So please hold. Yeah, I gotta scroll up. Oh, okay. So Robert says Dark Lady, Gypsy, Tramps, and Thieves, which I remember somebody tried to come for share for that title. I'm like, get off my line with that bullshit. Y'all not gonna come up in here with that um Gen Z bullshit. Like, oh, that's offensive. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves. Child, I've lived the life of a damn gypsy where I've traveled all over the damn world. But I get it. There's a stereotype of gypsies being thieves. And child, depending on what country you go to, there actually is some truth to that story, to that fact. But it is what it is. There was more black TV 20 years ago. Oh, or yeah, on Fox, UPN, the WB. But then again, there are stories that have gone around, history speaking, how Fox and whenever you have a fledgling network, how a lot of those networks would use black people to bring eyes on their networks, like a Fox, Fox 5 with the Living Color and Living Single and Martin and all those shows, and how once they brought that audience in there, then all of a sudden the networks like, oh yeah, well we got enough eyes on the channel. We don't need y'all N words anymore. So we started just getting rid of the shows, and then they started bombarding it with the white shows. Because wasn't it? What was it? Once upon a time, it was like during the Super Bowl, there was a what was it? They aired an episode of A Living Color over on Fox, and I believe at the time the Super Bowl was it on Fox or was it on NBC? I don't remember. I think it was on a rival network. And so they aired A Living Color during the halftime special, and people flocked over to A Living Color, which the ratings went through the roof. The show was already a hit, but it became even bigger once they aired that episode. And afterwards, I believe that's when the Super Bowl was like, that's when they started the whole big halftime thing, because halftime wasn't what it was until they backed up the Brinks for Michael Jackson, and then they brought him on the following year. So that's the power of black folk in entertainment. We've always been at the movers and shakers and at the forefront of pop culture, even though some people don't want to give us the flowers, but it is what it is. Facts are facts. It's like, OMG, remember Living Single in a Different World? They really took yeah, they did. And that's what I miss, because a lot of those type of shows, especially A Different World, they took on a lot of hot button issues, especially when it came to racism and, HBCUs and all kinds of other stuff. That's what I loved about A Different World. They really went in, and especially when it came to like hot button topic, the Rodney King riots, a lot of that stuff that happened in those days. It's painfully clear that Hollywood doesn't want or value our stories. Issa, Denzel, or Taraji need to finally band together to make. Look, this is why I'm looking forward to Byron Allen putting up that money. He is bidding to try to get a hold of Paramount. He has been. I didn't talk about the story, but there is a story that has gone around that he has put up a huge bid for Paramount Global. Well, let me look that up right now. Thank God for live TV, Jeff. They said, oh, he put up 14 billion 3 days ago. That's when the story came out. He offers $14 billion for Paramount Global. And I feel like they don't want him to have it, because at the end of the day, I feel like whenever we get in a place of power, and once that happens, then white people get nervous because like, oh, they won't need us anymore. We really don't. That's why I really wish that there were black moguls who understood that it's like, you know what? If the studio system is not going to value our work, then we're going to create the opportunities for us. I'm not even going to put Tyler Perry up in it, because there's a show that he does. I don't know. Is it Sisters? I remember. Why did he send me this? So DJ Bake sent me something to the group chat. I kid you not. I thought I was seeing things. Remember, okay, so this is how I know, Tyler, this is how I know you were part of the community because you took something from us and you heterosexualized it. He took something from the gays, and I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, get prepared. So there was a scene, I think in Sisters or whatever one of them damn shows he did. So there's this porn thing that happens in the gay community where I think it's the Russians that do it, where the guys lower half is hanging out and they tie his legs up against the wood, and then you have like just random people going up in him and inserting him raw and like breeding him or whatever the case is. Why did Tyler Perry had that scene in one of his shows, but with it happening to a woman? So they had all these men with no clothes on, butt ass naked, penis, everything hanging out, lining up with these women. And she's like, "Oh, I feel it inside me." I'm like, who talks like that? But it's a Tyler Perry written production, so we're just gonna go along with it. So these women up there, legs thrown up to Jesus, men lining up, talking about inserting themselves in this woman, I guess trying to get her pregnant or whatever the case. I'm like, what the hell? So people was literally on social media going in the comments, just going in on this. So they're like, what about the kids? What about First of all, why is any kids watching that type of show? Y'all know that that show has all kinds of craziness up in it. So I don't even know why the what about the kids? The what about is in the conversation. But I gagged when I saw. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? I don't watch the show, but it was sent to me on Twitter. So I gagged when I saw that. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, because I'm like, do I still have it? Yeah, I still have it. I'm not opening this up now. Oh, the tweet was deleted. But I do think it is sisters because one of the girls had like this red outfit, like they literally stole that scene from what's the name of that show that comes on Hulu, In His Eye or whatever the case was. Why am I forgetting stuff? And they wear the red, and the girl that's a Scientologist is on it. Y'all know what show I'm talking about. I see it on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. But y'all hit me up in the comments. Y'all know what show I'm talking about. But anyway, let's move on to the next comments. Excuse me. I know the streaming music services are lower numbers. It's a different story, but 10,000 songs being released a day is hurting the industry and the listeners. It is. Um, it's hard to try to find like the indie talent amongst the mainstream talent. The Handmaid's Tale. So I knew it was gonna come to me. It was giving very much that. But anyway, so I only got Hulu because of the anime. As quiet as kept, most of Gen Z is mixed race, so doing films strictly for white people. It is, and that's why I said I agree with Issa Rae when she said that you have a lot of these execs that don't want to step down and move on. They have aged out. You don't understand the way Hollywood works now. Hollywood does not work the way it used to. That's why a lot of your movies are bombing. Argyle just bombed at the box office. I wasn't surprised. I heard the movie wasn't that good. And to me, it looks like your typical Matthew Vaughn movie. And I like Matthew Vaughn, but it's like you keep giving us 8 different versions of Kingsman. We've seen it already. Give us something new. And I'm also getting tired, even though as much as I love him, I'm getting tired of seeing Henry Cavill. No shade. I'm just saying. I am kind of getting sick and tired of seeing Henry Cavill. I think he need to take a break. Although it's going to be kind of hard because I think he has another movie coming out soon, and he's about to start filming Highlander, which is being directed by Chad Stahelski, who did all the John Wick movies and stuff. So, but yeah, Hulu, I'm kind of getting on the fence about in regards of if I want to keep watching keeping with that. But then again, I do watch my Law and Order SVU and stuff on there, and it has no commercials. But I do need to remind myself I got to delete Stars because Stars I got a little preview of like I guess $3.99 or something or another for 4 months, and I know that fourth month's about to come up. And y'all not going to charge me no $15 and I'm gonna be paying $30 for some damn um Hulu. So I got to remind myself to get rid of the stock. Ain't shit on it. I don't care about the 5,000 spent on some power and all that other mess on it. I don't watch none of that 50 Cent shows. Miss Bassett is a queen. Yes, she is. So I don't know a pure white Gen Z. They're more pure white millennials. Well, yeah, now the newer generation of kids, they're all, it's there's a lot of mixed race kids that's going on biracial. And plus, we do a story on here where it was like more of the I think Gen Z identifies as LGBT. So it just goes to show like y'all need to read the room. Hollywood is late to the party as usual. They don't understand their target audience, and you're alienating a lot of people. So that's why when you see a lot of queer-centered stories, a lot of stories featuring people of color, they're angry that these shows are getting canceled. And so you keep alienating them, they're not going to be supporting these shows, and that's why they continuously get canceled. I don't keep any streaming service for longer than 2 months. Oh, I know a lot of people that do what you do. I know. I wish I was that person, but I commit to streaming services. I don't commit in relationships, but I do commit to a streaming service. So I like Blue Beetle. I know a lot of people like, oh, it wasn't that great of a movie. I like Blue Beetle. Like literally, I went to the movies to see it because I'm a Sholo Maranduena character. I mean, fan, not a character. I'm a Sholo fan. I loved him ever since he was on Cobra Kai. Looking forward to the final season. And so when I was like, let me go support Blue Beetle was in the movies. It was like literally five of us in there. And it was in Dolby, which was awesome. So the seats was vibrating. I got to relax, recline the chair, and get to see it on the big screen. And I did cry when the father died. So I enjoyed the film. I thought that it was really good. Yeah, it wasn't perfect. Susan Sarandon was like the worst villain, but there were parts of the movie that made me like the movie more than I should have. And I even bought the movie. So I'm a support, like I said, I always go out of my way to try to support diverse stories. And I really wish that more people would do that instead of just wanting to support whatever is cute and familiar to them. I've also read that people are tired of tentpole films. They want movies that are one and done and cheaper budgets and 90 minutes long. And that's what I say. I like the idea of just let's do a one and done. If the story is great, then I mean, if you have the idea of wanting to give a sequel, then leave it open ended. But yeah, I do. I'm here for a one and done. I don't think everything needs to be a tentpole franchise. Something that needs to be 5 or 6 or 12 sequels. Like those days are over. People just want to be entertained at the end of the day. I think Desilu was one of the first studios owned by a Latino. They quickly went after him, saying Desi and Lucy are communist. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. I'm hearing that story. Thank you, Handmaid's Tale. And indie labels are pissed at Apple Music for the high royalties toward Dolby Atmos and spatial audio. I said, yeah, I saw it. um Indie labels or independent people are always going to get hurt in the end because these big conglomerates, they're in their damn greed, are always trying to overshadow and overpower other people. To me, I feel like Dolby Atmos should be equal to everybody and not just being like, well, because you're a smaller label that you need to put up all this extra money. It's like, but they don't have the money, but the quality should be the same. I shouldn't have to sit and worry about, oh, well, if I want to listen to this new indie act, that I got to worry about the sound sounding different than the new Nicki Minaj record because she's on a major label. Like that's just dumb to me. So, but of course, the these corporate cannibals will continue to eat themselves alive. All right, so yeah, like I said, let's get because we have three more topics, which would be Candace Bushnell. We got the Selena Stork Child, Yolanda Saldivar, girl. Yeah, we got her coming up. But Sex and the City author Candace Bushnell reveals she won't receive royalties from Netflix's streaming deal because we were talking about the whole streaming situation and a lot of the scamations that they've been pulling. So Bushnell, if y'all didn't know, was originally paid 100 grand by HBO for the screen rights to her novel Sex and the City, which spawned a TV series that ran from 1998. I'm like, damn, 1998 to 2004, and a franchise now worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And she was forthright in sharing her opinion on the new deal going forward, telling the Times of London newspaper. She said, all of these men who are in charge of things, they just keep moving these cards around to make money because every time they move the cards around, somebody's skimming. The way men do business is a Ponzi scheme. The percentage of women in the 1% who made their own money are about 3.5%, and that's shocking. Besides the Netflix deal, the franchise is plowing ahead with a third season of its sequel, and just like that, following the lives of Carrie, Charlotte, and Miranda, which is played by SJP, Kristen Davis, and Cynthia Nixon. Kim Cattrall plays sex bomb Samantha in the original series, famously opted out of the reunion amid a long skimming feud simmering, Jesus, feud between her and Parker. Meanwhile, Bushnell is taking her experiences on the road in a stage show full of anecdote and memoir called True Tales of Success and Sex in the City. Most recently in Palm Beach, prompting her to confirm that back in the 2000s, she and the arena's most famous resident, Donald Trump, were friendly, although they no longer speak. She reports him complimenting her back in the day on The Best Hair in New York, and she said he could be very charming if he wants to be. Obviously, that's gotten him to where he is. Well, yeah, we all knew that. Like, charming, anybody can be charming. Serial killers have been charming too. And we've seen what has happened with that. Like, look, Jeffrey Dahmer was charming, but he also ate his victims. So, apples and oranges. But as far as like the whole thing with Sex in the City and that situation, to me, I wonder, like, okay, now, and just like that a book, or was that just developed because of the whole Sex in the City thing? Because I wonder what her deal entails with that. Because I'm like, okay, when you're back in the day, 25 years ago, when Sex in the City came out, she was young and naive. It's like, okay, you throw somebody $100,000, that's a lot of money 25 years ago. Now that's like Drag Race money. Well, not even Drag Race money like 5 seasons ago. Because now they actually upped it $100,000. No, it's $200,000. But $100,000, that's like nothing now these days. That's like pocket change, I guess. So I say all that to say I do agree with her on the whole thing about the way men do business. It's a Ponzi scheme. And I think this is also why a lot of people, particularly when we had the recent strikes with the writers and the actors, because especially with these streaming services and little stunts and stuff that they be pulling, it's just like, okay, so y'all trying to say all this, you're speaking a whole bunch of gibberish, you're just trying to rotate a lot of the pieces around the table, but you're offering me nothing, and you're trying to BS me, like making it sound like it's a really good deal when it's a BS deal. And so now, because I have this deal with HBO, now HBO is going making side deals with Netflix, being like, oh yeah, we're gonna outsource Sex in the City, so now you can watch it on Netflix and binge the show there, but I'm not going to get a percentage of my artwork and my creativity because it's not a deal with Candace. It's a deal that HBO made to outsource their material to another streaming service so that way they can make money from Netflix. Because, like we said, that you have all these streaming services that's popping up, but they're not turning a profit because y'all were trying to be greedy. Y'all thought, oh, well, look, Netflix has this idea where they've got all these movies, they've got all these these original shows that they're buying up and they're putting on the streaming service. Oh, we can do that. Oh, we can come up with shows on our own and spend tens of millions of dollars, but you're not seeing a profit being turned from that. So now you're having to outsource your material and get money from other places so that way you can recoup all those losses. So what's the point of having the streaming service? So y'all was out here trying to be greedy, taking advantage of the whole pandemic and everything, because that's basically why the streaming services were thriving, because we were all stuck at home. We couldn't work and all this other stuff. Now that we've got some sense of normalcy and we're finally getting, the world back up on its feet, now all of a sudden, y'all realizing that y'all not turning a profit. Like, that was kind of common sense from the beginning, but it's greed. Like I said, y'all be seeing y'all these greedy ass eyes. Your eyes be bigger than your stomach, is what my mother used to say when I used to be greedy. When I used to put too much food on my plate, she used to be like, "Your eyes bigger than your stomach. And look at you." Then you be trying to eat it, and then your stomach's killing you. So I say all that to say is like, look, so then at the end of the day, then the people like Candace suffer, the talent, the people who are just like trying to continue to reap the benefits from their hard work. Not a lot of people can come out and bang out so many different shows and all of this stuff. Candace Bushnell is more or less famous for her Sex in the City franchise. So she should be able to get a piece of that pie. But the way, like she said, that they move these pieces around, it's like y'all just be out here doing all kinds of schemes and scams, and it's messed up on that. In my opinion, on her part, she should be able to eat off of something that she created, a franchise that she created. I wonder if Sarah Jessica Parker's getting. They probably not. They probably not even going to get any kind of residuals from Sex and the City being on, Netflix. This is probably why she's, doing um and just like that when they have season 3. But I think now she's currently in a play with her husband Matthew Broderick. So I know Sarah is working. But I think she's over in the West End. She's not on Broadway. She's over in the West End doing a play. Because I did see something about that the other day. So her and Matthew are working. I think they're playing like 3 different versions of a married couple or something other. I forget the name of it, but I do know she's working. So shout out to you, Miss Candace. Oh, Sailor Mermaid's in the building. And said, you heard of Dead Man Walking. Yolanda is the first ever dead girl. Oh no, we're gonna get into Miss Yolanda in a second. But we got one more topic because we gotta go in on Tyrese self-hating black ass. Netflix pays for the job done and not for the yeah, so and that's why I feel like they really need to work out that whole I don't know, did they ever work out the whole royalty thing? Like at the end of the day, was so much stuff that was going on with this whole case with the writing and the actor strike. I'm still confused as once the dust settled, what was worked out. And it's been so much going on. I didn't even take the time to remember or pay attention. Not her straight for pay husband. Child, you talking about Matthew Broderick? I like Matthew Broderick. Speaking of which, child, at my job yesterday, we had so many celebrity spiders because I told you I work at Madison Square Garden. I work the big game for the Lakers and the Knicks. And there was a lot of big celebrity spiders yesterday. Who was there? Raul Alejandro, who I have to tell you, that boy is gorgeous in person. Um, Andrew McCarthy, since we talking about the 80s and Kim Cattrall, because remember he was in Mannequin. It was one of my favorite movies. Yes, I love an 80s. I am an 80s guilty pleasure. Like I love those movies. I love the Brat Pack stuff. Like I love St. Elmo's Fire. I love Pretty in Pink. I love The Goonies is like one of my all-time favorite movies growing up as a kid. So, I love those type of films. And Mannequin, child, that might have been the beginning of my gay awakening. Remember Hollywood? Shout out to Meshack Taylor, may he rest in peace. So yeah, there was a lot of big celebrities that were there yesterday. So shout out to y'all. It said if Reese was like Candace Knowens, black card revoked, and well, yeah, his black card has definitely been revoked. Um, in this upcoming episode, Apollonia Cruz posted something. I don't know what, but it's something. All right, so yeah, let's get into Reese because apparently he felt the need to throw shade at the black community in order to uplift the Latino community. So Gibson has made some controversial remarks in the past, but his latest dissertation on black families shared just in time for, yeah, why are you doing this during Black History Month? Like we are 4 days into Black History Month. Here this ninja go with this bullshit. So now on Instagram, the Fast X star shared a heartwarming video of a Mexican man being surprised with a new truck gifted from his family. And you know what? I have to say, I did get a little choked up when I saw it because it's like, one of the things I will say about immigrants is that, and not just Mexicans or Latinos, is that when people come here, they come here for a better way of life. That's why I hate all this mess about how y'all want to treat migrants like they're the worst scum of the earth and all this. Mind you, our full on government be the main ones out here robbing y'all asses blind, but they want to distract y'all. Look over there and look at those migrants. They're the ones that's trying to steal your jobs and shit. When first of all, I know y'all not gonna try to Kelly Osbourne my ass, but y'all not gonna get out there and do them jobs that a lot of these Latin communities are willing to do to survive and all this other stuff. We have this thing in New York where I do be seeing a lot of, I don't know where all these women be getting babies from, but let's talk about it. How's it that every time I'm on a damn train, I be seeing these Spanish women with the baby wrapped up behind them and they selling candy? Where y'all be getting these babies from? So I'm trying to be thinking like, is this really y'all kid or is this some type of hustle that they got going? Because in New York, you gotta have like a million damn hustles in order to make your ends meet. Because I be seeing that, I was like, you be saying, and I even seen the men with the kids, like everybody got a damn baby, be walking around selling candy. But I'd rather y'all sell candy than some drugs or be robbing people doing other stuff. So I applaud y'all. Whatever hustle y'all got going, y'all, kudos to y'all. So let's get back to what this fool said. So then he posted in the comments, I have to muster myself to say this fool. He said, well, then, you know what? Let me pull up the thing as a class. Come on. Now, I ain't wanted to start playing now. Yeah, because I was like, let me pull this up for you. First of all, you definitely love pull because I have a. What? You know what? This is even more funnier. This is more funnier. Wait, hold on. Now I'm messing up the moment. I'm messing up the moment right now. But hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's all cackle. Let's look at this foolishness. Why would they post? Why would you post this? Why would he post that foolishness right there? So anyway, so he put, sometimes I wish I was born Latino. I mean, the Latin community is grounded in family, loyal, entrepreneur. Loyal? You mean loyalty? Entrepreneurs, businessmen, and women literally represent, excuse me, the dream. The grind, the hustle, doing whatever it takes to stick together against all odds. And he puts two hashtags. If us is black culture, huh? Did you proofread before you wrote this? Anyway, let me go in. If us as black culture was more grounded in these integral magical nuances of us, we would be dominant. I don't know what that means, but go off knees. I've learned a lot from the Jewish community sticking together, eating dinner every Friday together. Why would you put together in the same? Oh God, Chris. See, this is why I hate when I read people's stuff. I become an English teacher. I really do. They used to be an irritation because that's see a lot. Sidebar. Before I get to the rest of this foolishness, this is when I was a kid. A lot of people used to come to me to correct their grammar and stuff when it came to certain things, especially when it would come to papers and stuff, because they knew like I was the grammar Nazi. Whenever y'all wrote some stuff that didn't make no damn sense, I would you need to fix that. So anyway, so let me muster enough to not be so damn critical. It's hard because the Virgo is Virgoing right now. So it said they have a father structure where they honor their fathers. The Middle East, the thinking and the mentality is that they would much rather have a son over a daughter because they know that there is nothing like the leadership of a father and a man being the head of the household. I have no idea how we lost our way. We can't get anything done and accomplished as a fragmented culture, insecure, threatened by each other, competitive towards our own race, killing ourselves every single day frivolously, and majority of us is black men, and the millions are locked up in prison. Of course, are we are beyond of course we are beyond powerful, influential, and successful, but imagine if we all linked up like other communities have linked, poured and built up in each other instead of moving like fragmented and dysfunctional. I can't read this no more because boy, you hurt my eyeballs. And then yeah. So he just continued to go in and just throw black families under the bus while trying to praise other people. And this is part of the reason why I always say I can't stand people like him, because he gives me the whole implication of the typical Negro that will dick ride for white people, will dick ride for fair skinned Latin women with good hair, or anything that doesn't feature darker skinned women, but then will throw shit on their own people. Those are the types that they like to fuck outside their race, but will shit on their own people in order to do it. I told y'all I am a product of mixed race. I am multiracial in a lot of ways. I have a lot of mixes going on up in this situation. However, what irritates me is the fact that, you know what, you can love and be a part of a mixed race situation, but you don't have to shit on your own people in order to celebrate other races. And this is the issue that gets me with this tar baby version of Pancho Villa. So he works my damn root canal. Now, don't be surprised if y'all don't start seeing him looking like Juan Mendez with like that slick back hair, and he get that bleach skin like he's oh my god, what was his name? the athlete, the baseball player, the Dominican baseball player, the way it bleeps his skin. Like he gonna give me that soon. Like I would not be surprised if he goes out and does that. But look, the people went in on him on social media, and let's get to them comments. The actor apparently, well, look, they said, look. Now let's also not point out. Let's also point out the fact that you know what. I know it's hard for people like Tyrese to understand, but for someone who's traveled a lot of the world, you lack an education. There are plenty of Black people who are Latinos, Muslim, and Jewish. So I know you like to equate Jewish people with just being white, Latinos with just being white, maybe because you've only gone to Spain or certain places where a lot of the light-skinned people are working in the higher brow places and you don't get to see a lot of dark-skinned people. But, you know, when that ship went from Africa and started traveling all around the world, they started dropping slaves off in different parts of the planet. So there are Black people everywhere. There are Black Muslims. There are Black Jews. There are Black Latinos. That's why we call them Afro-Latino or Afro-Latina. So there are all different shades of the rainbow that people make up. So I want to get to the shady comments because I don't want to read any more of what he had to say because he worked my root canal damn nerve with that. So one person said, "Dude, didn't you create 2 broken homes?" That was enough for me. And yeah, that was like that's true because remember, isn't he going through a whole custody battle with his baby's mother where he basically said that the whole child support situation and then he's fighting a Home Depot crime racism. So this is the cackle for me. So you want to sit up in here and praise people and those other stuff, but you got them same corporations, Home Depot, which the man who owns Home Depot is a Trump supporter, is basically going in on you over your stupid little lawsuit, you claiming racism. So it's funny how you want to be Black when it's convenient. But you wish you was Latino any other time. One person said, let's just make a running list of terrible things happening during Black History Month. Number 1, Taylor Swift appropriates the swag surf. Number 2, Trey Songz and Jacquees have RN beef. Number 3, Tyrese wishes he was Latino. Child, don't even get me started with number 4. Fades are now referred to as the Travis Kelce. Yeah, that cooked my damn noodle because I've been rocking fades since I remember. Now I do a hot. Well, you can't tell now because I ain't do my hair today. Like I just washed it and I didn't put no gel or nothing in it. But I do like when it's winter time, I do a high fade. When it's summer, I do like a low fade. I've been rocking fades since forever. And I ain't never heard of it being called no Travis Kelce. I'm not trying to call it no Travis Kelce. And what you white people will not do is appropriate something that is a part of our community, as in the Black and urban community, for eons. You're not going to do that. Not on Beyonce, Blue Ivy, and Solange's internet. So, at the end of the day, in my opinion, I just wish people like Tyrese would stop talking because every time he opened his mouth, he always says some dumb shit. And to me, there are plenty of Black families that adopt the same characteristics that you claim Latino families do. So for you to sit up in here and because you've never experienced, let me stop sharing this foolishness because I can't with the Mexican thing. That was just I just had to throw that up in there because it was just too damn funny. But to me, what I get from this is Tyrese, you were just somebody that's full of self-hate. And this is why I said earlier, like people like him are quick to run behind these white Latino or fair-skinned women with good hair while talking down to their own kind. Your mother's a Black woman. Your father is a Black man, I'm sure. I know you ain't got no mixed race run up in you. So for you to sit and shit on your own community because of whatever trauma or whatever situations you had growing up as a kid, that's some shit you need to work out in therapy. Take whatever little left that you have of that Fast and the Furious money, get your ass a good therapist, and work your shit out on a couch. That's what you need to do. So, if you want to see the change and all the other stuff, be the changes you want to see and all the other stuff, you go ahead and do that. You go figure that out. But what you're not going to do is shit on your own community. We're not gonna allow you. I'm not gonna allow you to do that because you will cuss the fuck out. Well, damn, I didn't know this story was gonna get a whole bunch of things. This is why, and when I'm gonna jump into it right now. Oh, and speaking of which, I want to shout out all of y'all that have responded because I was talking about, I don't know if I mentioned it on here, but my drag race post on TikTok, I was not expecting it to blow up as much as it did. I just went, I was like, let me just post this thing up here, no big deal. Because I never know what goes live, what's gonna be successful, what's gonna be huge on TikTok. Um, but apparently, let me see. Let me refresh and see because I'm on it right now. So far, it has gotten 32.8K views, likes, responses, all that other stuff. So I know there's a lot of comments, and I'm probably gonna have to check them all later. But it was the article that I did in the last episode about um Bob the Drag Queen beefing with Plain Jane. So apparently that video it's gotten me got a lot of eyes on my TikTok. So shout out to y'all and thank y'all for helping that video go viral. I wasn't expecting it to, but who knew that there was so many drag race fans out here? I'm being silly. I knew there was a whole lot of drag race fans. Anyway, so it said royalties for mainstream TV, but not for streaming, and studios are not allowed to use clips for one movie, crowd scenes, etc., and put them in another movie without paying the actors. So they're always going to try to find loopholes and stuff in how they could do those schemes and scams. Remember Weekend at Bernie's? Jonathan Silverman could get, yeah, he could. That's why I was like, and the funny thing was, I saw before they even announced Andrew. Speaking of which, since we're in the '80s thing again, because I'm gonna get through all these comments. Um, Speaking of Andrew McCarthy, I was literally looking at him because they had like the dance cam and they actually caught his son on the dance cam, and the kid was so excited when he wound up on a Jumbotron. And I'm looking at the man, I'm like, why do I know that man? That it was Andrew McCarthy from Mannequin and a bunch of other movies. So yeah. So yeah, I do remember Weekend at Bernie's. I did love that movie. And yeah, Jonathan Silverman was hot. Whatever happened to him? Why isn't he and Stacey? Wait, who? Well, I can't see Tyrese getting rid of Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash, look, first of all, Stacey Dash and Tyrese, both two mental head cases. Putting them two in a room would be like Teflon. Like, a huge explosion. That's like oil and water. You're going to see like a huge ass explosion. You don't want that kind of toxicity. That would not work. Apollonia says, greetings from the Boogie Down Bronx. And rent a baby. Oh, exactly. That could be it. There could be a lot of rent a babies going and them babies always sleep too. When they traveling with them when they selling that candy on the train. I told you that's a new hustle in New York. Cloud T, notice they target the black and brown immigrants, but don't have the same energy for white European and Asian immigrants or visa students who overstated. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But Sailor Mermaid, you ain't said nothing but a word. And not to mention, they complain about them coming here, but our same government and other superpowers screw up their countries to hell, which makes them want to come here for a better life. And then we got that fucking handicapped bastard Abbott who goes and puts all the migrants on a goddamn bus and sends them straight to New York City, and then we're stuck trying to figure out where they are. And then they try to sell up this lie to my, oh well, kids had to be out of school because they had to ship all the migrants and stuff into a school overnight. Yeah, because they were in tents that were going to be blown away by the fucking weather. So yeah, they had to find somewhere for them to go overnight. So it's funny how they like to tell y'all part of the damn story. Like, I'm all about trying to help people the best way we can. But we also need to figure out how we can help our own people in the United States too. Like, we got a huge homeless issue going on in the United States, especially New York. The rent is too goddamn high. I'm going to have to find me a new place to live in a couple of months because rent is out of fucking control. So if y'all got any leads, let me know. In the words of TLC, I ain't too proud to beg. Okay, so it's like, I'm not surprised by Tyrese. I'm tired of black folks being painted in one brush stroke. We're not a monolith, but hey, if that's what he wants to be a part of, let him. He better not crawl back to us. Somebody in the comments actually said the Latinos can have him. Thank you, Sammy Sosa, because I could not remember his damn name. And if you go to Italy now, you will see a lot of black Italians. Oh, I want a black Italian. Oh, that makes me sound like a fetishist. I was like, look, I wouldn't mind hunching up because I've never seen one. Just like, sometime when you go when people who are white are in places that are mostly white, they be so fascinated when they see black people. They're like, oh, I've never seen you before. Can I touch your hair? And how they be looking like they be so fascinated. Like I'm fascinated. I want to see a black Italian. I had a guy come up to me yesterday and ask me if I spoke Italian. I was like, no. I mean, if a woman to say the dirty words, I could, but you got to be professional. I was like, no, I don't know. I don't speak Italian, but I do like Italians. Some hot Italians. I like Mexicans too, because we're about to talk about one in a second when we get to the Selena Yolanda story, which is the final story of the night. They don't, but let me get to all the comments. They don't hyphenate the way it's done here in America. Italian's Italian no matter where your parents are from. Well, that's good. That they don't make a big issue like, well, you have to incorporate all these things, or like how they used to say to me as a kid, which I used to always find insulting. So what like when they were like, well, what are you? Because no one could ever figure out my nationalities and stuff. So when I would sit and tell them that my father's black. I have like Spaniard, Filipino, a little Irish, like a whole American Indian, so indigenous, all that other blood is up in me too. Well, which one do you prefer? I'm like, huh? So you want me to pick a side to make you feel comfortable? You can go suck the shit out my ass on that one. Because one thing I will not do is I'm not gonna pick a side or whatever just to make you feel comfortable around me or how to easily identify somebody. That's why I hate labels. I'm like, I'm just me. But anyway, so yeah, but unfortunately, they are also facing racial discrimination over there. Mhm. And it said about that, yes, true. Oh wait, racial discrimination. So you're saying that who? That black Italians are facing racial discrimination? Well, that probably goes in in many of places because I'm sure if you go to Spain and you go a lot of other places, a lot of dark skinned people are facing all kinds of discrimination, and it's unfortunate. But that's why I say racism isn't only in America; it's universal. It's international. All right, child, let's get into this final topic, which let's talk about Selena's killer, Yolanda Saldivar. Now, I gagged when I saw this today because there's a trailer for a new documentary, a two-part limited docu-series that's heading to streaming. We'll get into where it's going to air if you care to watch. It's called Selena and Yolanda, The Secrets Between Them. And Yolanda breaks her silence and is revealing her interpretation of events and claims that everything wasn't as it seemed. Now, the series premieres with back to back episodes on February 17th at 8 p.m. and concludes on February 18th at 7 p.m. Huh? Oh, it says February 17th. I read that wrong. I was like February 17th at 8 p.m. and February 18th at I think that threw me off because it was like the numbers are being reversed. So it says February 17th at 8 and February 18th at 7. At 7 p.m., not at 7. Episodes will be available to stream on Peacock the day after they air. Now, please don't throw your tomatoes at me, but I am curious and I do kind of want to see this docu-series only because I want to hear what she got to say. But bear with me. Let's go through this situation together. In a series of wide-ranging interviews from prison, Saldivar details her working relationship and friendship with Selena. Members of Saldivar's family discussed the two women and shared never before revealed documents and recordings in an effort to show there was more to the tragedy than the public knows. Saying, I knew her secret, Saldivar said in the trailer for the docuseries, and I think the people deserve to know the truth. Now, according to the investigation presented at the time, Saldivar ran Selena's fan club and was accused of stealing from the business. Some of those who were on the scene in Corpus Christi, Texas, who investigated Saldivar, challenged the new information presented and remained steadfast in their determination that she was rightfully convicted. The hostage negotiator who spent 9 hours on the phone with Saldivar after she shot Selena, the Corpus Christi Police Department detectives who were on the scene, the prosecutors who put Saldivar on trial, and journalists who covered Selena and Latino culture are among those who provide insight into the tragedy and Selena's legacy. Saldivar is currently serving a life imprisonment sentence and is eligible for parole on March 30th, 2025. Now, what I will say about this is this. If I was Yolanda, bitch, you better hope you never make parole. Because I feel like if she get out of jail, somebody gonna do to her what she did to Selena. And I'm choosing my words carefully. And y'all know if you know what I'm saying, I think you do. Now, I don't have cable, but I do have Peacock, so I will watch. Now, I do agree with people who said, why are you giving her a platform? Why are y'all giving a killer, someone who notoriously took this woman's life, killed her in cold blood, because according to what we know, she trusted this lady. And when she was confronted because she was skimming off, the money from the fan club, from the fans, when Selena went to confront her at the hotel, Yolanda shot her and killed her. So why are you giving her a platform? Why, after all these years, after so many decades, are you giving her the opportunity to explain herself? Everybody has the opportunity to say their side of the story, do whatever. That's great. And we all, as people, have an opportunity whether or not we want to support it or we don't. But as someone who is a Selena fan, I am curious to hear what she had to say. And I will be like, okay, now I don't necessarily believe what she got to say. She still did what she did. She still killed that girl and she deserves a rotten fucking prison. So I am curious. I am a huge Selena fan, like, Como La Flor, Amor Prohibido, all those songs, the Beady Beady Bomb Bomb, that was my shit. I love my Mexicans, the men included. Some have been married, some not. Okay, let me stop being messy. But, excuse me. But yeah, I know this has got to be hard, not only for the Mexican community, the people who love Selena, and as well as the Quintanilla family. Like I can't even imagine what they're going through right now, knowing that this heifer is about to get another opportunity to be on a platform. And I feel like the thing that irritates me about this country and the media and everything is that how we revere serial killers, how we put them on these goddamn pedestals, and how we give them platforms. It's like I feel like this is the same. Like I feel like I'm getting deja vu. Like last year, we had the same conversation when it came to Netflix with their damn Jeffrey Dahmer series. So they had that, and now we got Yolanda, who's still alive, who's getting to say her piece yet again and re-traumatize the Quintanilla family, who still, I'm sure, that feeling never goes away when you lose a child. But you're re-traumatizing these people with this thing. So on one hand, shame on you. What's the streaming service? Shame on you, Peacock. And what's the other? I forget what the other network is. So, Oxygen. So shame on you, Oxygen, for airing this, and Peacock for the streaming of the aeration. But then again, and I guess shame on me for wanting to watch. I don't know. I'm torn because my nosy side want to see it and hear what she got to say. So, but then again, I was like, you know what? We as a society, it's like we just love this type of stuff. Like we love true crime, we love all this other mess. And out of curiosity, I guess I'll be watching, and I'll let you guys know if y'all don't care enough to watch or because it's too much for y'all. I'll give y'all the highlights and whether or not if I believe her story. But yeah, this is unfortunate that this is something that that the family has to endure yet again, and these networks, because they're so hungry for content, is giving this lady a damn platform from prison to say her piece again. And I guess this is her way of trying to use this as a way for her to get up for parole and be like, well, see, I did this thing and I put all this evidence out here, and now I'm able to I should be free and I should be able to go out into the world and live amongst the people. Well, shit, you better sleep with one eye open if you're actually granted with parole. Because, like I said, there's gonna be some Selena fan out there, I truly believe, that will do to you what you did to her. So I see we got some comments. Is she? um, and it's like, I don't understand that notion. Let mixed race biracial people be mixed race biracial. I agree. It's just like, you know what? I never deny one of the things I will never deny is I will never deny my blackness. I love being black. I love black culture. I love black food. I love black people. I love black men. But I love all men. Because I'm not gonna do all lives matter, all that like that. I would do that as a joke, but but not for real. So I just love people. I love cultures. I love embracing, and I think that's what also why I think that that's the advantage I have of being a multiracial human being is that I love different cultures, and I think that's why I love New York too because I just love like today. It was, if I feel like going to Chinatown and having Chinese, like real authentic Chinese food, like like that time when y'all see me on Instagram and I posted like the Asian food that I went, the Asian spot that I went to, and I was just like, I love trying different cultures, Indian food, although I try to stay away from Indian food because the spices don't agree with me like they used to. The body, the older you get and your insides starting to change and things. So um I think that gives me an advantage is that I like embracing different cultures and trying different things. People, the men, and the food. And so I shouldn't have yeah, I shouldn't have to choose. We shouldn't have to choose, although but we're always put in that spot. Her platform equals money for studios. And it says she could tell her side, but it won't change anything, especially since whatever she says, Selena isn't here to defend herself. And that's another thing too. Like, I'm glad you pointed that out. I was like, yeah, if I didn't um drive that home, is the fact that, Selena isn't here to defend herself. She was the one, at the end of the day, it was Yolanda and Selena and that gun in the room. Selena's not here to defend herself. Yolanda only got her side. As they always said, you got Yolanda's side, you got Selena's side, and you got the truth. The gun can't talk. But what was stated in the room, the ballistics and all that other stuff, and the people who go in those rooms and they can detect what happens based off the evidence. That's the only thing that you could do. Like I said, the people who were part of the trial, the people that covered the case, the reporters, and the witnesses, Yolanda being in the room, and I don't even remember if she testified. That was so long ago. I don't remember the details of everything. But those are the only people that could, they could tell at the end of the day. So shout out to her. Shout out to Selena, not Yolanda. That bitch could rot in jail for all I care. Um, so yeah. Okay, so Miss Tarot D says, need to run, but once again, interesting show. Blessings and light to all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, so it's funny how she got to run because I got to run too. This is the end of the show. So, and this is the first time I feel like in a long time I did a 2-hour show because normally I'd be keeping the show under an hour and a half. But I think it's because there was so much to cover and so many people jumped in with the comments and made the show a little longer. And I appreciate it. I love when y'all are watching the live stream and you guys chime in because, like I said, it's an interactive talk show and I love interacting with you guys when I'm doing the show. So, thank you all for tuning into this to today's episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, like I said, do yourselves a solid. As I say earlier in the show, I always got to do it at the end. Bookends. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification button, so that way you know when I go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And thank you all for tuning into the comments. That would be Roro, Sailor Mermaid, Miss Tarot D. We also had Apollonia who jumped into the comments. Robert jumped into the comments. So, we had a lot of, a lot of people in here commenting. And so shout out to y'all and thank you for those who are new and old who continue to tune in and show your support for the Chris Avalon Unfiltered podcast. So once again, like I said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for having me on in the background while you're doing your Sunday chores. And until next time, ciao, darlings.